Peace and love, my peoples. Peace and love. So this is just gonna be basically a series of videos that I'm gonna put out, and I'm gonna call it the process. And it's basically gonna be the process that I use to create and develop all my tattoos from start to finish, from design all the way to the process of applying the tattoo to the skin, to the stencil, to the first, the second, maybe the third session, just depending on the actual tattoo. Every tattoo is completely different. Some tattoos, I would say at least about 60 to 70% of the tattoos I do require more than one session. That's just usually because they're larger or they're cover-ups, and sometimes they're both. So this is just going to be a series. It's going to be real raw, real uncut. I'm not going to do much editing or anything on it. I just kind of want these to be more like live videos, and more so just geared for me to kind of critique myself as part of just this series, and maybe it would help some of you guys, and maybe you guys can help me kind of grow and learn more about, or grow and just become a better artist and learn more, and we can share and create and collab together. So I really want to make these videos only about really no longer than an hour for sure. But some of these tattoos, they are, I just got so much documented about them that it's time that I need to start getting a lot of this out, and I don't have time to just continuously make edited videos. So I think this is going to be a really good way to produce these videos, and a really good way for me to create something that's going to be inspiring and helpful at the same time. So without talking about it too much longer, let's get into it. This is the process. I'm Imari D. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, like this video. If you're on Instagram, smash the like button, all that stuff, man. Whatever, it all helps. And I'm not the only artist, man. If you got any other really cool artists that you follow, man, make sure you giving them likes, make sure you sharing their work. It always helps. So I'm gonna start with this tattoo just because I actually worked on it about a week ago, and it's pretty fresh. So let me actually pull up. I wasn't even prepared. Let me actually pull up the videos here of the actual start of this tattoo. So here we have a tattoo I did, and it was a cover-up. This is where it started at. This is where kind of like I started the process of the design. I always get a picture of the before tattoo because I'm always curious to just work with it. You know, I always wanna have it when I start designing. Of course, I always get pictures of every process that I do because I design on top of the actual tattoo, and I'm gonna show you what I mean in a second here once we get into the actual design part of this tattoo, which is next. So this is just a video of the actual tattoo. You can see, I think I was trying to get a cool little edit. I'll replay that real quick. This is just the actual video of the tattoo before it is what we covered up. This is what he had. This is what we started with. I believe this tattoo was done over 3 sessions. The third session, which being we did last week. So with that being said, let me go ahead and try and find the actual images of the design that we did for this particular tattoo, and you'll understand what I mean when I say I always want to get a good image of my tattoo before I start. So let's see. I'm gonna go to my tattoo designs. Oh, by the way, I got a whole screen right here in front of me. I know you probably like, what is he looking at? I'm looking at a whole nother screen right here in front of me. This screen over here is my drawing tablet or my design tablet. I do a lot of drawing on this tablet. It's literally like my lifesaver. So All right, so getting into this design and the design process I did for this particular tattoo, um, this is the this is the actual cover up, or this is the actual before process, obviously, and this is the last video of the last session we just did. I want to play that for you guys, just so you can see where it started at and where it's at now. Um, So here we go. Here is the video of what we just finished up in this last session, and now you can see kind of where we covered up. Some of this you can still see a little bit of the scar coming through there, but for the most part, it's completely gone. So this was done over 3 different sessions, and what I want to do with this series of videos, like I said, is go through and show you guys what each session, what it looked like before each session, what it looked like after each session, what I did between the processes, what I did to design this particular tattoo to fit this area, to cover up this tattoo, how long it took, and just the amount of hours and time that it goes into doing all of this work and creating all of these tattoos. So that is what this series is going to be about. I hope you guys get something out of it. I hope you guys help me get something out of it. It'd be great if we can share and collaborate, and all criticism is good criticism as long as it's good criticism, if you know what I mean. So getting back into the actual design of this tattoo, let me see if I can pull up the design start. So here's my ZBrush. It opens up. So here is the actual design start. I built this design in ZBrush, and this is, I believe, the start of it. This isn't even close to the actual process. All right, let's click on. Let's open up the actual design. I think this one is. I think we got the right one here. So yeah, here we go. This is the actual. This is the actual design I used in this tattoo. As you can see, I built it in ZBrush, so I built it in a 3D platform, because I figured since we're working on a 3-dimensional arm, it would make more sense to obviously build in a 3-dimensional space. Now, ZBrush has been super handy for me. I know some people don't necessarily want to go out and learn a whole new program, but learning ZBrush has been an amazing part of my journey in tattooing, and just giving me a new perspective on how tattooing works. So here is kind of more of a side-by-side comparison of what it was and what I did with the actual ZBrush design. So I kind of tried to fit it to his arm to make it kind of give it that, that realistic look, that more real, the 3-dimensional look. That way the tattoo could actually sit on his arm properly. And let me give you an example of what I mean here. Let's see. So I'll show you what I mean when I say I wanted to give it that 3-dimensional look. And you can tell from when I show you the images of the actual design and the tattoo on the arm that you get what I'm saying. Like the same, I wanted to go with the same size, same design. And actually, I mean, you can see there are subtle differences here, but I had to improvise, of course, on the fly with this design as well, as a part of just tattooing. Is you improvise, you kind of where it needs to be, what needs to be done, you kind of do what needs to be done, you take out. So it's kind of where I'm at with things with this particular design. This is the actual design I did. Like I said, I modeled some of these parts. I went through the actual library here inside of ZBrush and just kind of found these mechanical parts and kind of modeled them all together and tried to build something that was really close, if not similar to what he was looking for on his arm. Obviously, we had to take into consideration that this was a cover-up tattoo, so we definitely had to do we definitely had to do some darker work in here. And had it not been a cover-up, maybe I would have chose a lighter palette, but we'll get into the palette that I chose a little later into this video. We'll definitely get into the palettes and the colors I chose and why I chose those particular colors in correlation to what he had going on already on his body. So yeah, let's get to the next part of the design. So obviously that is not the end of the design right there, right? Like that's just part of it. This is the part that I modeled inside of ZBrush. So the next step obviously was to take this design, and when I modeled it, after I modeled it, to render it, to take it out and to give it materials, to give it a good look, and to make it look finished. So the finished product. And on this particular tattoo, I used Keyshot, and I'll show you the actual render here because I believe I have it saved. So yeah. So here's the actual render. Forgive me, it may take a second for it to load. I'm recording the video. I'm opening Keyshot. Keyshot is a live rendering. Well, I do have it rendering live currently, so it may slow things down. I'm not sure how this is going to look in the end, but we're going to try it anyway. It's asked me if I only download the newest version. I do not. Let's see if we can bypass some of this. Yeah, so this is the actual render I went with on this image, and you can see here in Keyshot is where I added those materials. I gave it light effects to make it glow. I gave it those bits and bobs that kind of make it look more realistic and give it that more realistic feel. That's why I really enjoy, like I said, working in 3D, because it does give us a bit more room to create and grow, to create around a three-dimensional space versus a two-dimensional space, because when we tattoo, we're tattooing on a three-dimensional space. So the body is nowhere really on the body that you're going to have a flat area, a truly flat area. So everything we do, we got to account for the curves, the shape of the arm or the shape of the body. In this particular tattoo, the shape of the arm is what we're accounting for. And this program, these programs completely help me do that. So you can see kind of here, obviously when I turn it, it's still rendering, like it's actually rendering the image out. I have it on denoise right now, so it's kind of even rendering a little bit faster than if I was to click that off and cut it off. So you can kind of see it's a bit blurry. It's rendering slow. So that was the actual, this is the actual design I used. Okay, this is the second step, I say, in the design process for me and the way I designed this particular tattoo. This was what I like to call the materials part of the process, where I added all my textures and materials. I'm gonna exit this because it's probably slowing my computer down terribly. Anyway, so I'm gonna bring this image back up. I'm gonna bring the image of the final tattoo we did. Let me see if I can find it. I got so many tabs open right now. It's kind of a little bit well, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I want to really get this process, like I said, raw and unedited, and kind of show you guys what I do and how I make things kind of work for me. So this is the last session we did. Sorry, excuse me. This is the last session we did. This is before the first session. So as you can see, major difference in the tattoo, major difference in the outcome. You just saw the design, the second step of the design. So once I usually get out of the process of modeling the design, adding my materials to the design, I always step into Photoshop and try and give myself that room to actually visualize the design. So let me see what we got here. So here is the design in actual Photoshop. I'm gonna open up Photoshop so you guys can kind of see what I mean, how I superimpose the design over the actual image of the arm ahead of time. So this kind of helps me just kind of visualize. After I rendered that image, I gotta basically. So when I was in Keyshot, when I come from Keyshot, I usually take an image from that 3D render, and this is basically an image from that 3D render. And as you can see, this is the actual picture of his arm pre-tattoo. This is at the consultation when he came in. I took the picture, I took measurements, and I made sure to get all the information that he wanted about the tattoo, the little bits and bobs, and try and write it all down and kind of get an idea. So that is the image, the actual design, and this is the actual image of the design finished. So usually, like I said, I usually always design over the image of the actual tattoo. That way I get a good idea of what and where all of this is going to line up. I think this, in this case, this particular tattoo lined up a little further up, like here. And considering that we cut off some of the edges of it with more of like a bordered in look, and you can see that here. We kind of took the edges off a little bit and kind of bordered them in a little bit, kind of like almost like a breaking slash like boxy looking effect, which I think is pretty cool, and I think for a fact that's what he wanted to do, because he had this piece coming off his chest, which is also kind of a biomechanical gears with puzzle pieces flying off into this piece. So yeah. So with that being said, yeah, I always go into Photoshop. I always make sure that my image that I am working with from my 3D program actually fits the design that I'm trying to put it over. It actually works and everything is good. From there, I always make a stencil of this particular design. My stencils usually look something like this. This one wasn't so bad, right? And if you guys want me to make a video of how I do my stencils, I can totally do that. I usually use Photoshop to do my stencils because it's just really quick. And then I always kind of sketch some of the main lines and the big lines back over. So I'll go in, I'll edit this photo. I'll edit this photo until it turns into basically somewhat like this. And I usually go in and I add those lines again over this actual image. So I mean, just to give you an idea, let's see, I actually add my lines back over in a new layer. That way when I go to print it, I can continuously copy and paste this layer back over and get, you know, multiple layers and a really thick and nice stencil. So that's how I make my stencils. I can totally make a video. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know, drop a comment, let me know, or reach out, message me, whatever. So yeah, that was the stencil. That's the actual stencil from the design. From the design, obviously we go into tattooing. All of this is definitely a process. It's not a quick process. It's not an easy process, but it's definitely a process nonetheless. Let me close this out. We'll do a actual video on that tattoo as well soon. One day. We're getting close to finishing it actually, so I'll keep you guys posted on that one for sure. So yeah, let's get into the videos for this tattoo. As you can see, I believe I have a stencil video for this tattoo. So there's the stencil because I did a time lapse for this tattoo. So yeah, awesome. So I do have some time lapse footage of this tattoo. I do believe I've made a video and it's not up on YouTube yet. It will be up on YouTube. You will be able to catch it. So you can see the stencil right there, how I kind of start the process. Basically, you can see where it kind of lined up, where the actual coil in the actual design lined up over the actual image of the tattoo. So this is kind of an idea, better or less, of what it looks like. I think I have a video just solidly of the stencil. I think here it is right here. So this is my stencil a little before I sketched on it. This is what it looked like. I always draw a little bit on it, kind of fill in some of the areas that I feel aren't dark enough. So yeah, that's the stencil right after. This is the stencil after I drew on it. You can tell, obviously, I cleaned it up a bit. Always give it a little bit more detail, and I always outline the areas where I know I'm gonna do a lot of my hand is just gonna be bearing down on that tattoo. So I know that for a fact. So with that being said, we move into just the process of tattooing this particular tattoo. I have so much footage and so much video of this actual session. Like I said, I do want to make a time-lapse video of this tattoo, so I'm going to be pretty brief, I guess, with what I did with this tattoo. So my palette was pretty simple with this tattoo. I literally laid out, like, I want to say I used 3 different shades of blue, and I mixed them all down with cold steel grays. All the pigments I used in this were raw pigments. So I can go over a video of palettes as well. But the palette I used for this tattoo is pretty simple. Blacks, dark blues, some light blues, and I'm pretty sure at the end of this you'll see I have a few more cups out, and these will probably filled with white for sure. That's usually the case. Maybe a white here too, or sorry, not a white. These were filled with opaque grays, and maybe a white here and a white here. But I probably have some more cups out there. We'll get to that part later, of course. So palette, not that crazy with this tattoo because it's all in blue. So I didn't really think that it needed a crazy palette. So this tattoo was started, like I said, almost 2 or 3 months ago. This tattoo was started at the end of 2020, and we finished it at the end of 2021. We finished it a few weeks ago, right now being December of 2021. So like I said, some tattoos do take a longer time. So yeah, these videos were shot in my old studio. There is the palette I use. Basically, you can see not that complicated, about 6 different colors. Yeah, I mean, I'll replay that again and pause it for you. You can see I used the smoke gray, I used the purple space, I used the blue shine, a raw white, I used that phantom blue, I believe from raw, and all of them were raw pigments. And of course I used the raven black from raw pigment, and I want to say I used the pitch black too in this tattoo, but I don't know if I did, so don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure I have a video of it if I did. So like I said, this tattoo was done over 2 sessions. Yes, 2 sessions. So after the first session, I believe this is what the tattoo looked like after the first session. We got quite a bit of work in on it, and this is what we had come to after. I want to say this was the session after about 8 hours, maybe 9 hours into this tattoo. So basically getting the foundation of the whole tattoo in was my main goal for this session. Literally putting all this in. We did get a good amount of saturation, and I replayed it again so you can see. You can still see some of the tattoo coming through. Don't fret. I know some people, right? Some people are like, oh man, you can still see the tattoo. It's the first session, guys. Don't fret. These type of tattoos take multiple sessions to really get that ink saturated and to really get that old ink A, covered up, and B, broken up, because that's what we're really doing, is getting in there and breaking up the old carbon from that old tattoo. Once again, you can kind of see in the old tattoo right here, that basically it's not a lot of detail. It's not, and this was a really simple part to cover up, is up here. So it's not a lot of detail, but these lines are really keloided. They're really scarred. So these lines are what we had the most I guess the most challenging part of covering this tattoo was getting over these lines in this boombox, I believe, and you can kind of see it as the process goes on. So here's another video after that first session. This one was a little bright, but like I said, none of this is going to be edited. All this is just raw me talking about this particular tattoo. So yeah, like I said, this is another video of it after the first session. Once again, like I said, you can still see it's pretty much just the foundation of the tattoo. Nothing spectacular yet. It still needs work. So I know sometimes like people are like, man, what did I pay for? You paid for the process. Like this video is called, you didn't just pay for the one-time sitting, especially with cover-ups, especially with cover-ups. So yeah, moving on, we did another session on this piece. I want to say at sometime in the middle of 2021, so January, February, March, April, maybe like April or something like that. I want to say we did another session, and you can see right there I'm working on it, another session on that particular tattoo. Let me see if I can have some more videos of me working on that particular tattoo. So this is the second session, some videos from it, just some edits, some cuts. You can see those were the grays that I used. So I believe let's play that back. So yeah, these were the cool grays that I was talking about, that I put out that first time, that you may not have saw. So you can see that well, a lot of gray is technically the lightest shades of blue. So really, when you're looking at a really cool gray, you're looking at more of a blue color. So yeah, these kind of look blue, but they are definitely gray, and that's what I was using for a lot of this tattoo. So yeah, more video on the sessions just more video on the sessions. On this session, shout out to my love, Crystal, for coming through all the time and taking videos of the tattoos. Super awesome, super dope. I always appreciate it. So super shout out. So you can see kind of close up a little bit there. Just working on the area. When I tattoo, it's like I said, a super slow process, especially with cover-ups. Hurts. I'm getting in there, I'm digging in, and I'm trying to get everything I can covered up, so that's the key goal. So this was what it looked like after that second session. So you can see we pretty much got it all the way covered. It's pretty much all the way covered up. And once again, like I said, you can see here, I'm gonna point it out if it wants to go back, I don't know. I'm gonna point it out that right in here, in this area, is where that boom box is at, and that was the area that I was having that, like a difficult time getting it all covered up. Now, I will say that for this session, we pretty much knocked it out, got it all covered up. It's gone. The old tattoo is gone. We're looking at pretty much a new tattoo. Once again, I'll move this over, and you can see side by side what it used to look like and what it was. And you can tell, like I said, once again, here where that boom box was at, this is where I'm saying is that's that critical area, because all these lines were so raised up, and this color right here is so opaque gray that's still showing through a bit. So, like I said, with most cover-ups, don't be disappointed, don't be sad, because we still got a little ways to go. With cover-ups, most of the time when I do a cover-up, I'm always going to do a second session, and especially with a larger tattoo like this, when we didn't finish it the first session, we're going to do a second session, and then it's always going to be, in my opinion, it always needs a third session, which is going to tie the first and the second session all the way together. So it's kind of like that. It needs that, in my opinion, it needs that third session to tie everything in. This is still the second session, videos from after the second session, after we kind of cleaned up everything and finished everything. So everything is finished, but nothing is polished in this actual video yet. And we want to polish this tattoo off. So I think we waited another 4 months or so before we got back into this tattoo. And I'll run that back one more time just so you can see. This was a video I posted, I believe, on my Instagram of this tattoo after the second session. So we got back into this tattoo, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. I actually finished this tattoo. So it's been about almost a year since we started and finished. And of course, this is obviously life, you know what I mean? This is he was working, I'm working, scheduling just didn't allow us to get together and finish it until the end of this year. And this is, like I said, after the second session, when we tied everything together, we got everything finished. And the third session is where we come in, and where I come in and I consider it to be a polished tattoo. So from images of the third session, here are a few videos, here are a few clips of me working on it, kind of washed out a little bit, really bright, I know. But you can see the tattoo is finished. I'm just polishing it, and you can actually see in that video, if you look real close, after that ink settled here into that area where that boombox was sitting, it actually leveled out. When we were covering it up, it was really angry, but it actually really leveled out and kind of smoothed back out after a while. So more video of us just working on it. I'm working on the back of his shoulder right now, finishing that area on the back of his shoulder, kind of cleaning everything up. More video of us just working on it. It's the design. I always keep the design right in front of me when I'm tattooing, even if I'm kind of freestyling. So you can kind of see here I'm finishing up the back of the arm, and that's basically what we were doing at the end. All of this, a lot of this already is healed in this tattoo. I'm just kind of going through, like I said, and polishing stuff up, adding those little last touches. You can see here really close up kind of what it looks like. And like I said, once again, in that area where that boom box was at, where my mouse is actually circling, you can see it all really leveled out. After it kind of healed up, it kind of stopped being so angry and leveled out, and we were able to kind of clean up some of these bolder lines in the actual gear, and get it to where it looks just completely covered. And you'll see as we go on, and I show you a few more videos, you can kind of get a better idea of what I'm talking about when I say that. So here it is, kind of more of a view from the top. You can kind of see everything is pretty clean, pretty settled. I'm cleaning up some of the black lines in here. I'm cleaning up some of the black areas, and I'm fixing up that back area. That was the real goal. So once again, cleaning up some stuff down here. Everything in this polishing session is literally just touching and seeing, looking, feeling for whatever is there, trying to get everything cleaned up. And the end result of this whole tattoo process is right here. This is what it looks like at the complete end of the tattoo. Super happy with the way it came out, super happy with the way it looks. Most of this is healed. Some of the black down here at the bottom is fresh. I kind of hit it again. Some of the black at the top is fresh. That piece that comes around to the back is pretty fresh too. So everything else is pretty healed. And you can see, like I said, once again in this area, everything is covered here, but we can still see some of that scar. And it's nothing we're gonna be able to do about that. That is not tattoo showing through. that's literally just keloid from the actual original tattoo that's under there. So it's not much we can do about that. Obviously, we could have went much darker here, but I didn't want to. This tattoo to me is already a bit dark. Didn't want to go much darker because I wanted to keep something in there light, like a light point, something that had some glow or something to it. So I'm always open to critiques. I'm always open to, let me know what you guys think about this tattoo. What could I have done better? Could you see something that was done better? Maybe it helps you do something better as well. So if you know anything, just drop a comment. Here's another video of it, another perspective of it. Just a video of the whole tattoo. Once again, like I said, if you guys get something out of this video, that's super dope, man. I appreciate you watching. I know it's kind of long. Like I said, these are going to be super raw videos. Just trying to get information out there. Just trying to get images out there, videos out there, and content out there for you guys. Because I have so much, and I know for a fact that I'm just not going to get around to editing everything. And I think this is a good way to start. Helping anybody who needs a little bit of help to kind of get a heads up and a view on things. So once again, all feedback, all comments are super dope. I would appreciate them. If you got them, leave them. So I'll drop a few images here just for the end of this video end's sake. That was the second session. We got the before, the second session. Let's get a picture of the first session if we can find one. So 1 second. All right, so this is after the first session. This is after the second session. This is the same photo after the second session. Maybe I didn't take any photos after the first session. This is after the first session. So this is after the first session. Like I said, once again, you can see everything. Still there. We got a foundation down. We got the tattoo imprinted in the skin. This is after the second session. We getting things together. Everything's tight. Everything's finished. Everything is there. All things are defined. All the depth is there. Or the whole structure is there of the tattoo per se. Right now, that's it right there. And last but not least, we have an image of what it looks like now. As of a few weeks ago, and let me see if I can pull this one up here. So as you can see, a bit different. A lot of this down here is settled and healed already. A lot of this is obviously fresh in this image. A lot of this is settled and healed. So yeah, the difference here is everything here is polished and finished. Everything here is together and there. So once again, like I said, this is just basically a video of the process, my process of tattooing. I know it's a mess. I know it's a long video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, just let me know what you think. Let me know how you feels. And once again, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, leave a comment, guys, because I appreciate all the feedback all the time. I'm learning and growing every day. I don't know a lot of nothing, that's how I feel. So I'm trying to learn from you guys just as much as I'm trying to give information out. Peace and love, my peoples. It's been dope. It's always dope. Yeah. So thanks for watching.